Hello, thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Stuart. Yes, classical record collector back again. And today I've been out in Nottingham. I decided to take a walk in Nottingham city centre, not really with the intention of going hunting for records or anything, just I fancy to walk around, browse around the shops. And I was actually quite surprised to find several record shops. Very sort of pleasantly surprised as well. So I'd like to talk about my experiences, and I did actually take quite a lot of photographs, quite sort of cautiously. Uh, I've found that shop owners don't tend to like people taking photos, so I managed to do it actually without being detected, which I'm quite pleased with. So yes, this first this first shop that I walked into, it's just off the market square, and if you turn right just past the Bell Inn, I can't remember what that sort of pedestrianised area is called, but you can find this record shop. I'll tell you what it's called when we get through all the photographs. So obviously you know that I'm a classical collector. However, I do also buy some pop and rock. Not much, but I am looking out for certain things. So I decided to go into this shop. Um, it's actually a shop that sells clothes and fashion as well as records and various other things. Obviously, in this picture, you can see that there are CDs on sale, and in the foreground there, you can see various comics and books, singles. I can see Viz there. I can see Shoot, the football magazine that I used to buy when I was a teenager, and yeah, various comics. So it's quite an interesting shop, really. Now, as for the records, there are two parts of the shop. There's This is the back part where probably most of the records are, and um, you know, I've been into quite a few record shops, probably in the last year or so, and I can't help feeling that they're a lot less sort of friendly than they used to be. You go in and you just don't get that kind of vibe that I've had in the past, albeit I must say mainly from sort of classical record shops that I used to frequent. And these are obviously very different because I can see that they're aiming for the young market. They don't really care about fossils like me that are collecting classical records. And indeed, after I'd spent some time in the shop, and I did actually buy one record. I'll show you that one later on, non-classical. I did ask, do you have any classical records? And the answer was, no, sorry. And then he suddenly went into the back part and he started looking around, and he came back, oh no, sorry, there was some, but somebody just took them all away. I thought, well, okay, fair enough. There's nothing really much to be said about that. Classical records in this shop are just not a thing. So there's obviously no demand or next to no demand for them. And okay, haven't got a problem with that. It's obviously not the shop for me. But I was hoping to see more sort of pop and rock from the sort of 70s, early 80s era. And I was surprised at how little there was really. It was mostly sort of, I don't know, sort of house music, indie. Uh, let's just move on though to the next. Let's have a look through some of these pictures which I've taken. I can see the Fab Four there at the top, and yeah, we've got comics and singles. Here we are. Here's another picture. Uh, Actually, it doesn't really tell you very much. Only roughly what the shop looks like. Let's keep going with it. You can see that it's mostly young people in there, which is good to see. I'm glad that young people are enjoying vinyl. So yeah, what have we got there? Unfortunately, I haven't really taken a very good photo, and I can't read what those labels say. But a lot of it was indie and soul and lots of music that I'm not really interested in, house music, etc., hip hop. Let's just keep going and see if we've got some better photographs. Yeah, I decided to take that. Oh, there we are. In fact, we can see here down tempo, future jazz, broken beats. I don't even know what a lot of these genres are. Um, Peterson type stuff. Oh yeah, future jazz. And then I decided to take this photograph of the records on the wall because we've got Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac, bands that I'm familiar with, of course. Let's keep going. And yeah, so I didn't really find very much in this shop, unfortunately. No classical, as I say. And here we are. Yeah, this was the section that interested me. I took this I took this photo. There was I think the owner or somebody who works there was standing here for a while. I wanted to get a photo because I thought this was quite a good shot of this part of the record shop where the money is taken. But I didn't want to just get my camera out and take it because he was standing there and he would probably look at me. And I didn't really feel comfortable with doing that sort of thing. So yeah, I took it in secret. I waited until he went. He went to the back of the shop. I got my camera out and took the picture. So yeah, classic rock. I went through all these rock and indie, and yeah, I did find one record that I was interested in. There was a Boomtown Rats record in there for £3, and there was a Clannad record which I would have bought, but unfortunately the condition wasn't very good. So yeah, I didn't buy those. Anyway, let's just keep going. And yeah, hopefully we're going to see something. Yeah, okay, so I took a picture of some of the equipment they had in there. What kind of Silver Crest. I'm not really familiar with that record player. It doesn't look like a very sort of good one though. Anyway, they also did have another record player behind the counter. That actually looks like an old radiogram, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, then I decided to take a better shot of some of the magazines, and yeah, that's Shoot, Midnight Men, etc. Some of the books. Interesting shop. If you're looking for some of what they're selling, I thought it was a very, very good shop. There's another photo. Just showing, I mean, look at those two guys. How old are they? Sort of early 20s, even sort of 19, 20, 21 years old, and they're looking through vinyl. And that's actually the cheap section that they're looking through. They had a sort of £1 section, and I went through, in fact, and I didn't find anything of any interest. So I must admit, though, I'm probably more likely to look through £1 sections than I am anything else. Let's just keep going. And yeah, I spent about maybe yeah, I just took that to show you that they also sell fashion. So that's what they do, fashion and records. I suppose it's not a bad combination. And I think they probably do cups of tea and coffee as well. Not a bad shop. There it is. That's the shop. What do they call it? FAC 1968, vinyl and clothing. Let's just have a look. There's another better photo coming up in a moment. They've got records in the window, and yeah, there we are. As for the records in the window, they're mainly sort of the Top of the Pop series from the 70s, which, if you remember, they're a compilation of hits from the 70s, but not by original artists, but they were very popular. For Sale, Manfred Mann. What's that? I can't quite read that. Something suburban. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, new classic and vintage records and good stuff. Okay, pretty good shop, really. And I did buy one record, which I'm very pleased with. I'll show you at the end what I bought. So after that, I walked from the market square and I walked up towards I walked up towards the Hockley area, but the Goosegate Hockley area. But instead of going up there, I turned right and I walked down. Oh, I'm not even can't even remember what that street is called. It's more of a walkway that takes you towards the Broadmarsh Centre, which obviously has now been demolished. Okay, yeah, so this record shop I went into. Again, I was quite impressed really, quite impressed with this shop. I went in, I found some so-called pre-loved records, second-hand records, and I went through those. No classical, and I didn't find anything I was interested in, unfortunately, but most of them were selling for sort of between £3 and £6, which I thought was quite reasonable. Actually, no, most of them were £6 each. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, everything was virtually £6, but I just didn't find anything that was interesting to me. Again, you can see young people mainly. The shop is very well laid out. It's spacious enough. There's plenty of room to browse. Very good shop, really. And yeah, I noticed that they were doing a 3 for £66 deal. Now HMV last year were doing 3 for £55, which I thought was good. Now these people, 3 for 66. I think HMV are doing 3 for 70. So yeah, prices have been going up. This was a very busy shop, lots of people around, interested. So that was, I was quite impressed with this. It's just sad for me as a classical buyer that, you know, all these amazing shops have got product that I'm not interested in. Quite a, I mean, quite a lot of females here buying. Look, I mean, I don't know. I mean, with classical records, all the classical shops I used to go into in the past, you virtually only see men, and here we are. We've got a record shop, and we've got one, two, three, four women, just one guy there, and me, who is not a serious buyer. Let's keep going. Yeah, so that's what it's called, FOP, Music, Film and Books. So yeah, that was a good shop, I thought. Let's keep going. So yeah, I walked. A lot of you will probably know where this is. I can't remember. Is it Exchange Walk or something like that? I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. So then what I did was um, I went to the end of that walk, and instead of taking a right down to where Marks and Spencer is, down the hill, I took a left. I walked up past the Galleries of Justice, and then I took a left past the church and walked towards Hockley. I went past the Broadway Cinema. For those of you who know Nottingham, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So past the Broadway Cinema, I then took the first right, walked down to the bottom of that street and took another right, intending to get back onto Hockley. And I think that I think that's where I saw this shop, which is Rough Trade Records. So let's have a look at what I found in there. Very well laid out, well labelled, very big shop. And yeah, there it is. I liked this shop quite a bit. It wasn't really so busy, I think probably because of the location, not such a good location. So they had some of these were second hand. Yeah, there's Elton John, and I looked through, didn't find anything I was interested in, and the prices were high. They looked to me, a lot of these were graded like VG Plus, EX, etc., etc., on these labels in the top right hand corner. And the prices were sort of like eBay prices. I'm not sure, but I'm probably guessing that they maybe have an eBay shop as well, and they sell stuff on eBay or Discogs possibly. So yeah, I'm noticing with most of these shops they do have second hand, and maybe that says something about the new product that they've got, that they can see money in second hand, and they're maybe not so confident that they can get the sales they need in new records. So I spent a bit of time going through those, and then I turned my attention to the rest of the shop. I just basically took some photos. You can see how big it is. It's absolutely huge, huge shop. Look, psychedelic music there and amazing selection. It's incredible how much vinyl is actually being put out there for people. And you know, hardly any CDs at all. I know that a lot of you are saying, "Oh, forget vinyl. You know, it's CD, and you know, CDs are coming back, and CDs have never really been away. And okay, vinyl's doing better on pound for pound, but we've got more units." Well, no, I couldn't really see that. What I see is that the bulk of the floor space is taken up with vinyl. So there we are, very well labelled, and I like the stands. I like the fact that the records are not packed in so that you can't look at them, and that is something that really irritates me, because I went into Oxfam in Nottingham today, the one near the Theatre Royal, and I had a look in their classical records, and it was so very difficult because they had the classical records right at the bottom. They were packed tightly, and I actually had to pull them out and put them on the floor in order to look through them. It was very, very difficult work. And by the way, I didn't buy anything from Oxfam. Their prices were just stupid. So let's keep going. Oh yeah, so they're selling a turntable here. What's that? AT-LPSX Audio Technica. Well, I guess that's probably quite a good record player. 379.99. I guess that's probably over the odds. Got some headphones down there, and I think we're going to see a close-up of one of these in a minute. Yep, there we are. Took another shot of this one on different turntable, I think. So they've got some fairly good playing equipment in there for sale, which is good to see. Yeah. Okay, so rough trade. This is the shop that I went into in Nottingham, and I think if you stand there, you can just about see the Victoria Centre. So yeah, I mean they were all really good record shops. I thought they were all excellent. It's just that from my own point of view, there wasn't really anything that I only managed to buy one, and I am interested in a lot of 70s sort of rock and pop. But I mean, for example, it would be nice to see some Spandau Ballet. Didn't see any. It'd be nice to see the Pretenders. Didn't see any. Queen, didn't see any. Pink Floyd, didn't see any. Well, at least in the second hand, of course. If I want to pay £40 for those albums, there's plenty to buy, but I don't want to pay that amount of money. Let me just show you what I did buy from that first shop, the one that sells the fashion and the records. Well, it's no secret that I'm a Blondie fan, so there we are. I don't know whether you can see what I bought there. I've been kind of looking for this, so I was delighted to see it. Of course, I know I could buy it on eBay for sort of 15 or £20, but I thought maybe I might get lucky and see it somewhere for less than that. I used to have all the Blondie LPs when I was a teenager. I kept them into my adulthood, and I don't know where they went to, but they just vanished. So far, I've replaced Eat to the Beat. I've got a good copy, and this is an absolutely superb copy of Plastic Letters. In my opinion, the best Blondie album. You know, it's just the invention in this album. You know, it sounds more sort of punk influenced than any other Blondie album. It's an absolutely superb record. This is sounding really unlike any of the other albums. In fact, they all sound really different from each other, but this one in particular, and it's got a great shot on the back. I love this picture of Debbie Harry sitting on the police car. It's so cool with the other guys in the band. So I've checked the condition. I've played it already. It's in really well. Actually, I'd say it's about VG plus plus. It's just, but I'm happy with it. The jacket is in superb condition, and I don't need to look at any other copies of Plastic Letters. £6 for that. I think that was quite a good price for that record. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. That's my sort of review. I mean, there may be other record shops in Nottingham that I don't know about. Who knows? I know that there's one in Hert's Yard, which is I could never get into because it's absolutely jam-packed with second-hand records. I'd like to go and have a good look through, but every time I go, there are literally there's virtually nowhere to stand in there, and there's just a few people looking, and there are a few outside waiting to get in. It's absolutely impossible. I would like to have a look through it one day, though. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Goodbye for now.